Hi, and welcome back to Moments with Monica. This is episode 2. There were a couple of questions that came up in the past week, and one that I didn't get to cover last time. One of the last questions that I didn't get to cover last time was, what are all the things that I do? Because this is a lot of things. All right, so if I want to start from high school or before, all the different things that I've done thus far in my life. I have worked in a greenhouse harvesting tomatoes, organic tomatoes, which was my own choice. I decided that I wanted to do that as a teen because there were things I wanted to buy. So I wanted to earn extra money more than my allowance. So doing that, I also started interpreting right around 14, interpreting in American Sign Language, and continued signing from there on. That's a completely different episode to go into why I learned sign and how that came about. So let's see, we got the working in the greenhouse, then the interpreting unofficially. It was like at church and then at school for a student that didn't have an interpreter with her. And then the next thing would be working in education. So I started obviously working in education fairly young, but special needs, deaf and hard of hearing was where I specialized in. That was my focus. And as well as personal training, group fitness, dance instructor, professional chef, professional caterer. I had my own catering company for a few years. Let's see, what else have I done besides that? ESL teacher across the border and on this side, both sides. So I've done a variety of things. I've been a caretaker as well for someone with Alzheimer's. I did that for a while. But yeah, they've all kind of stayed in the same caretaker type of grouping or genre, whether it be education or whether it be as a chef, because working in assisted living, I was a chef at an assisted living facility here in San Diego. So I've done a good amount of things. It's kept me busy. I've never had a boring day in my life, right? And now into the next part of designing clothing, whether that's sewn or knit or crocheted, doesn't matter. And jewelry. I almost forgot about that. I've been designing jewelry as well. Picked up tatting along the way, and so I'm doing that. I've done some weaving. I guess if you pretty much name it, I might have done it. I have not flown a plane. I have not flown a helicopter. They're on my list. And I don't know how to drive a motorcycle. Those 3 things I really want to learn how to do. I have actually steered a ship. Small ones, small boats. I can't say a ship, maybe closer to a boat. Whether it was a small one and then a bigger one than that, I was able to handle doing that. So I've done that. Though I don't have a license in that, I was just on a friend's boat and they were like teaching me how to do it, and then I did it several times after that. So those are some of the things that I have done career-wise and personally. And then I also just get into the things that I like to do connected to that. Rock climbing, indoor and outdoor, yes. Gymnastics for a number of years. I used to be a cheerleader back in the day. And wow, what else? I'm trying to think of all the things. It's such a long list because this is all spontaneous, as you can tell. I do have my notes on questions that came up, but for the most part, I just answer them like I am. Nice and fresh, off the cuff type things. So let me think. Anything else that I've done that I haven't covered? I think I covered just about everything. If it comes up, I will share it in the next episode. So those are pretty much all the things that I've done, all the things that I've experienced through my life, as well as some of the activities that I enjoy doing in my personal life. And then the next big question, which had so much to talk about, was my favorite stitches. So I have a lot of favorite stitches, and I brought along with me a couple of books that are really good for that. This is one of my favorite books for knitting. It has 400 knitting stitches. My favorite type of stitches as far as knitting, I love doing anything with lace. I love doing cables. For example, let me show you some of my lace designs. If you follow me on social media, you've probably seen this sweater, this little cardigan. I did lace on the sides too. There we go, find the lighting. So I did lace and I did seed stitch because I like them both. I like seed stitch, moss stitch. I like them both. So lace stitches are big for me. I love doing lace. This was a fun one with all the different colors and the garter stitch. I also did it in neutrals too, or solids. And then I love color work. I love working with color work, and this one I combine color work and cables. And then as far as crocheting, this was fun. This is just one little thing. I have many more, but this is one of my favorites. A little crocheted baby dress. Lots and lots of fun. So small. This this yarn was so tiny. Let me show you closer. I might share this on Instagram so you guys can actually get a chance to see the dress up close. But those are just a few of the things that I have. As far as stitches in the book, like I said, cables are a favorite of mine, and lace stitches. So when I got to this section of the book, let me show you. And it's all lace stitches. I was like, yes. Tons and tons of beautiful lace stitches. There's some that I've used many times because I love the way they flow. I'm just showing you quick pictures of it because I'm not gonna show you anything longer than that. You have to get the book. And then of course cables. There's a whole section on cables in this book. But we all know the basic cables where it's 3 and 3 or 6 or 12. It depends. You can go forever and do all sorts of different types of cables. Like in this one, it was just a very simple cable. That I'm designed so that it would open up on either side of the design. And then I created trellises along the bottom. There are no secrets, they're just styles that I really enjoy. I also love corner to corner crochet and filet crochet. They're all so much fun to work with and so much fun to do. And those are some of my big ones that I really enjoy doing. Right now, my designs have been more lace oriented, like the cardigan, because I just love seeing it turn into a picture and seeing that style flow throughout. But those are a few of the patterns that I really enjoy working with. I enjoy doing anything that paints a picture, because a lot of times you can do something and it's beautiful and it's pretty to look at, but I like the ones that turn into a shape, like a leaf, and you can see that they're leaves. Yeah, it's just fun to see those things come to life. And then when it gets to the part of designing fabric. Like the blouse that I'm wearing is one of the designs that I did, one of my first fabric designs. That's the same thing. You just sit down, you're your stylist, and you're just letting it evolve into whatever it may be. And that's the fun part about being what we are, crafters and creators and designers and knitters, crocheters, sewists. It's a blast because we get to take something raw, like yarn, let me grab it, and turn it into something. It starts off like this. Next thing you know, it turns into this. And the fun part about what I'm doing now is since I'm spinning my own yarn, I get to take it a step further and start from the raw, take it to the yarn, then take it to a tangible item, which gives us a different viewpoint on how we're doing things. It gives me even deeper appreciation for all the people that shear the animals or cut the hair, the ones that go through the process of turning into roving or turning into bats. If you've been following me on Instagram and seen all my happy mails, I have such huge respect for all of you out there that go that extra step of taking the time to process the fiber, dye it, and make it into something that's just mind-blowing, because there's colors that I would just never even think of, but they're gorgeous, gorgeous. So we've covered what I've done in my past, all the different type of things that I've experienced through my life. I started everything really young too, so it's really great to start it, if you can, when you're a child. And then as you get older, you've already experienced learning so many different things. My mom was that type of person. She encouraged us girls, because there's three of us, me and my two sisters, to try different things. Languages, arts, music. We were exposed to all of that to give more richness to our lives and more education to our little brains, right? And then brings that passion to our hearts, because we're able to find things that we can all get into. We find our own little avenues, our own little street, our own little way, and those things bring joy to us, and then that shows to so many other people. Because if you're happy in what you're doing, doesn't that show? If you're miserable and you're like, I have to go to work because it's a horrible job, or I hate my boss, or you could be the person that's like, I'm at a job where you've got supportive bosses, where they're encouraging, where you're having fun, where there's flavor, where there's variety, where there's growth, where there's encouragement, where there's huge amount of positivity. It shows. It just oozes out there to everyone else, right? So hopefully I've answered all those questions that came up in the last week, because a lot of them, I just tied them into the next one because they were so connected. Your train of thoughts have been awesome, because it goes from one idea to the next idea to the next idea, and I'm like, well, I can have a whole podcast or a vlog on these 5 subjects and just go from each one, because these are the questions that came up, but they're all interconnected. So I can't wait to see what questions and things that you want me to discuss in episode 3. And thank you so very much for spending this time with me from Moments with Monica. Yeah, it's just a short little visit, a short time together here in my craft room. And I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, because it's really lots of fun to share so many different things with you all, and to share more about me and my process and what I've been through and what I do. And I'm sure at some point we're going to get into the ones that are really deep and like tear jerkers. That's okay, because it's all part of making me who I am and who we are. We have to go through all these different things to grow, right? It's part of life. There's some positive, there's some negative, but we try to balance it out and keep on going. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And then for episode 3 and from all the next ones that come, you'll be notified, and then we can spend our little moments together. Then it'll be moments with Monica and you, right? So from my craft room here in Southern California to wherever you are, I'm wishing you a great day. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.